Joining us now on the phone is Donald Trump himself. Donald, did you watch that last night? Do you think he nailed it, or were you offended?
I did. I really liked that last statement on your show. That was true, 100% true. There's no doubt about it. Well, I did watch. I thought the hair was very bad. They got to do better with the hair. The hair was really off, but it was funny. And Lorne Michaels does a fantastic job. You know, I've known Lorne for a long time, and he's a great guy, and he does a fantastic job.
So you saw Hillary Clinton was guest hosting Saturday Night Live last night. She took a shot at you, too. At almost exactly the moment she was in the studios over there, Bernie Sanders was up giving speeches about actual issues. Why do you think she decided to go on Saturday Night Live?
Well, she did the right thing. I mean, it's a special thing. It's a great honor. I've hosted it previously, and it's really an honor to do it. And, you know, it's like a feather in your cap. And I don't know if she's going to host it actually someday, but she did. I thought she did a very nice job.
Well, she's been vowing to show her softer side. Her aides have been saying, her staffers have been saying she was going to be going on a lot of shows. We saw her, for example, on Ellen trying to learn how to do the whip and the nay-nay and all that, and it kind of came across as wooden and rigid and all that. But with Saturday Night Live, these producers, these writers are incredible. You really can't buy this type of advertisement for yourself, can you?
No, it's very important. It's interesting because it does very well with the ratings, and yet it's on so late. It actually wins the Saturday night slots, and it's on very late, which is pretty unusual. I don't think there is anything like that. So I guess people come home from dinner or whatever, and they turn on television, and it happens to be 11:30. But it's a very good show, and they have a lot of good talent.
So you weren't offended at all, because we posted some on our
Facebook
page.
We have to work on the wig. I mean, that wig is bad. Wow. Wow. And it is my real hair. You people know that, okay? But the wig is, we have to do something about that. That's bad. But no, I thought he did a very good job, and I thought the show was funny.
So what did you think? We saw this tragedy happen the other day in Oregon, and the president, even while police were still on the scene, hops up on stage and tells the rest of us, we're going to have to take your guns away to make America safer. What's your response to that?
Well, I got to see a clip of me yesterday. I was in Tennessee and made it was really a rally. It was a love fest. We were packed, and it was just amazing people. And I talked about it. You saw that I was talking about it. And, you know, that was a gun-free zone in Oregon where they had no guns allowed, no nothing. So the only one that had the gun was the bad guy, and everybody was sitting there, and there was nothing they could do, not a thing they could do. Actually, the police did a fantastic job getting in that quickly, but there was nobody with any protection. And wouldn't they have been better off if somebody in the room, anybody had a gun to at least help them out? But it was a terrible thing. And these gun-free zones are a disaster because everybody's just a sitting duck. You saw it recently where military people, highly decorated, a gun-free zone right near the military base, actually on the military base, a gun-free zone. And a couple of those guys were really highly decorated military people. And this guy walks in and shoots them and kills them, and it's just horrible. So, you know, there's a double side to all of this stuff. If you had the guns in that room, he wouldn't have shot so many people, and they wouldn't have just been standing and sitting there helpless.
Well, the other side of this is the mental health issue. You raised that this week as well. What kind of a discussion do we need to have in this country around mental illness and those who are mentally ill getting their hands on weapons?
Well, it really is a mental health issue, much more so than a gun issue. It's a mental health issue, and it's nobody wants to talk about that. Obama gets up and he starts talking about guns, but this is a mental health issue. And, you know, we so many cities, and you look at different places, even in New York, but where they let people out that they know shouldn't be out because they have to save funds. They have funding problems, and years ago they let a tremendous number of people out on the streets because they didn't have the money to take care of them. And this is what we have, and we have to do something about mental health. It is becoming a bigger and bigger problem, and certainly every one of these instances with the school shootings and the movie theater shooters, every one of them turns out to be the same kind of a character. At the same time, no matter what you do, you're going to have people slip through the cracks. You know, if you see a loner in a community, you're not going to put him in an institution because he sort of fits a description. But every time, it's sort of interesting, whenever you see these things happening, they go back to the community, and the community always says, we really see, you know, he really was a strange guy. But unfortunately, by that time, it's too late. So we do have a big, big mental health issue.
Now, to Syria, you said the other day you would give Vladimir Putin an A for leadership. He's trying to prop up the Assad regime. Is that a good idea? And should the United States be stop its fight against the Assad regime? Is that the best we're going to get there?
Well, I'm only saying he's much more of a leader than we have in this country, and we just can't. We're the gang that can't shoot straight. Even now, we go and bomb a hospital last night. It looks like it, where 19 people were killed. And, here we are complaining about them, and we bomb an innocent hospital that should have never happened. And everybody's saying they knew it was off limits. Somebody made a terrible mistake. It has to happen to us. We're just the gang that can't do it, the gang that can't shoot straight. It's just terrible what's happening under this administration. Absolutely terrible. And certainly Putin looks like a hell of a lot more leader than we have, that's for sure.
Yeah, well,
whether we like him or not. He was my co-host on 60 Minutes the other night, and we did the biggest ratings they've had in a long time. So I don't know if should I give him the credit or should I take the credit?
Well, you actually said, I think you tweeted this week, or you talked about this week, that you would actually be able to have a good relationship with Putin. You believe that?
Well, I think I might. I mean, I've had a good relationship with a lot of people over the years. I've built a great company. I get along with Democrats, with Republicans. I get along with everybody. And, it is about relationship. And he does not like Obama, and Obama doesn't like him. They have really bad chemistry. You can see it when they're sitting. Deals are people, and I study people. And you look at those two together, and it's just never going to work. It is never going to work. And he's making Obama look very foolish, unfortunately.
Who should we be supporting in Syria?
Well, the problem I have is that we are supporting, and this has happened before. You look at Gaddafi and you look at all these others, we try and help people out, and they end up killing our ambassadors, the people that we've helped after the overthrow takes place. You look at Saddam Hussein in Iraq. The problem I have is, and it's such a sort of an obvious problem, especially after the history of the way, we're supporting the rebels. We don't even know who the rebels are. I spoke with a general the other day who's pretty well versed in this particular section of the world, and he said, we have no idea who we're supporting. We have no idea who they are. And look, Assad's a bad guy, but you could get worse.
Yeah.
Assad is bad, but and the migration is because of all of that civil war. If it would stabilize in any form, maybe these people could move back, and, we don't even know who the people are that are moving. You see all these people. And then this country is supposed to take 200,000. But you watch this migration, there's so many of them are young men, strong men, and you say, why aren't they fighting for their country? And then all of a sudden you hear Obama, we're going to take maybe up to 200,000 and maybe more coming into this country. I think we're crazy.
You were criticized this week by one of your rivals, Governor Jeb Bush of Florida, for perhaps switching issues, switching sides on the Syrian refugee issue, initially saying that we should welcome them, and then saying that as president, you would remove them from the country. What do you say to Jeb Bush this morning?
Well, he's very weak on immigration. He's bad on Common Core. He's bad on a lot of issues. I don't see how he goes anyplace, but, hey, he's a nice person. That's about what he's got going for him. Look, he is so weak on immigration. He has been for a long time. Remember, they come in as an act of love, the famous act of love statement. Now he wants to welcome. First of all, we owe $19 trillion, okay, as a country. We have to fix our country. We have to rebuild. We have to get rid of debt. We have to do so many things. Bringing these people in, 200,000, over a period of years is billions and billions of dollars, and we don't know who they are. It could be one of the great Trojan horses. I think it probably isn't. But the word probably is not acceptable. It could be one of the great Trojan horses of all time. They come in here. These are young, strong men. You look at the migration. I said the other day, I was with a group of people. I said, where are the women? Where are the children? They showed the scene of all of these young men. And now what we're going to do is just open up our country and take these people. We just can't do it.
How do you make sure you're letting in the good and keeping out the bad? Mr. Donald Trump, thank you so much for your time today.
Okay, thank you all very
Thanks.
much. Thank you.